With all of the conversations that we have around AI in education, in productivity, as a way to automate and make things more efficient, I think there's a huge gap that's being missed and something that we need to address if we want AI projects to be successful. And it's not to be more effective at prompt engineering, it's to be more effective at data engineering. Because the reality is that AI is only as good as the data that you feed into the AI. If you want to build AI projects or even just leverage AI effectively in your organization, you need clean, well-structured, and accessible data. If we build AI solutions on fragmented data sets, then we'll get fragmented AI. We'll have islands of AI all trained on different data sets, automating processes that aren't conformed. So the most valuable skill that you can invest in right now, if you'd like to build agentic AI or true solutions using AI, is how to manage the data that supports the AI. To do design, to do development, to do management, and to automate the data sets using tools that can help you be more efficient with your data. Now, when it comes to working with databases, we often have to use different tools for different aspects of how we're working with data. We might have a tool for managing data, we might have another tool for moving data, and we wind up with several tools all doing things with the data to consolidate it and get it ready so that we can build it into other projects like an AI project. For data engineering, though, it's much more effective if we have a tool that can do a lot of the work, such as the one that I'm going to introduce in this video called dbForge. dbForge really acts as a unified architecture that allows me to work with the entire data lifecycle, from design to management to administration, optimization, and reporting. I can even work with hybrid workflows, such as if I have cloud data and on-premise data. And all of this is critically important if I want to build solutions that are going to affect my entire organization. Many organizations have multitudes of data sources that they need to bring together in one unified version of the truth so that you can build AI automation workflows, so that you can build analytic workflows on top of that consolidated conformed data. Now, dbForge also has another feature that is extremely useful for anyone that needs to learn about data or work with data, and that's the dbForge AI Assistant. So built into dbForge is an AI assistant that can help you as you're working with data. Let's take a look at the dbForge AI Assistant. If I go into the assistant, I can attach to a database. You'll notice that I've attached to a database over here. This happens to be an Azure database that I've created. It's a copy of the AdventureWorks database. And I can go in here, I'll select the connection, I can connect into the database itself. And now that I've connected into that database, the AI assistant understands that any questions I'm asking will be about that database. So I'll go ahead and click into there. And then I could ask a question. Let's say, for example, I want to learn how to write a query to retrieve all the products sold by city. I could say, create a query. I don't even need to say create a query. I could just say, show me all the products sold in each city. And maybe I want to make that a little bit more fun. Maybe I want to say, show me the top 10 products. So I could say the top 10 products sold in each city, because I want to make a decision of, which cities are buying which products. I want to make sure that they're in stock. So I'll go ahead and click go on that. And you'll notice that the AI assistant will go through and it will actually look at the database that I've connected to and begin generating SQL code for me. So here's an example of the SQL code that's going to be generated. And if I have my own code, I could put it in here and I could ask the AI assistant, I'll put this into a window here. So I've now got the code in a window here. But if I wanted to, I could even ask the AI assistant to look at my code that I've written and look for ways to optimize it as well. The AI assistant is really something that I find incredibly handy because a lot of times I'll either want to improve my own code or I'll want to be able to write a quick snippet of code to make sure that I'm accessing the database correctly. Or maybe somebody sent me some code and I want to check it. I can do that with the AI assistant as well. If I go into Explain SQL, it'll ask me if I have some code and I can put that code in here. So I'll put some code that I've downloaded and I can say, can you explain this code to me? Now, this isn't formatted very well. I could put a nice, better formatted code in there, but I just cut and paste some complex code in here, and it gives me a full breakdown of that code and exactly what's happening. When I'm working with students especially, one of the concepts that they struggle with the most is using joins, inner joins, outer joins, and so on. And using an explainer tool like the AI that's built into dbForge really makes a big difference. If I go into a new chat, you can see that I can optimize SQL. So let's go ahead and take that same code and we can look at how we might be able to optimize it to look for ways to improve it. This is just getting that nice second opinion that's going to be able to go through, give me some ideas of how I might want to optimize this code in here, and it's just going in to generate the answer for me. And now I'll have the ability to improve the code. As you can see, it's gone through, it's optimized the code in here. It's actually continuing to do so. I can now cut this code, copy and paste this code. And this is a great way to take code that maybe I want to look for improvements or I want to learn how to do things a little bit better. By working with the AI, I can use my knowledge as well as the AI support in order to optimize code and improve it. Now, if I'm attached to the database, I can also optimize queries with indexing and such. So it'll actually look at ways that I can improve the performance of my SQL database in that environment. And then of course I can go in and I can fix SQL code. So let's say I'm having a piece of code that's not running quite properly. I am going to use the same code, which actually is a piece of code that does work. But if there was an error in the code, let me go in here and make just a little mistake in here. I'll just take out a character in here. So just change that and we'll go in. It will go through, look at the code and see ways that it can fix the code and improve the any mistakes that I may have made. It'll go through, break it down. Notice that it's in nice containable pieces so that I can go line by line or section by section. This is not just good for production work, but this is good for learning as well. So this is a great tool, the AI component to dbForge, and dbForge itself is absolutely full-featured. There are so many things that I can do with this tool. Comment down below if you'd like to see me do more. I really enjoy using this tool, so I'm always happy to make more videos on dbForge. I'll put a link down below. You can check out dbForge for yourself. Comment down below on the types of things that you'd like to see in terms of consolidating your data and making your data more effective for your digital transformation projects. Data engineering is a big part of what I teach, and I'm always happy to share my experiences with data engineering, new tools, and the importance of data in any type of infrastructure. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.